Hello, users, and welcome back to another episode of Above It All. And this one's a doozy, and I'm not sure what to think about it, so I'm going to watch this video of this ABC News report of what happened, and we'll go from there.
And that wild shootout with sheriff's deputies that killed the half-brother of a black man found hanging from a tree in Palmdale.
Yeah, there's still a very active investigation underway this morning, and that's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Mark Cota-Robles with the very latest. Good morning, Mark.
Yeah, Brandy and John, good morning. As you mentioned, there is an active investigation behind us this morning. We're going to focus in on that dark-colored Jeep SUV behind us. Though these cases are completely unrelated, we have learned the man killed by an LA County Sheriff's deputy here in Kern County is the half-brother of Robert Fuller, the man found hanging from a tree in Palmdale 1 week ago. The incident last night described as a dangerous gun battle. Take a listen. Family identifying the man killed as Tyrone Jamal Boone. Deputies say that he was wanted for the assault and kidnapping of his ex. Deputies had been following a car that he was a passenger in. When they tried to stop the car, they say that Boone opened the door and started shooting. That's when deputies fired back. A 7-year-old girl in the back seat was not injured, though a woman unrelated to the assault case was driving the car. She was shot as well, but was treated and already released from a hospital. Just minutes ago, I spoke to that woman's brother.
We're upset. We're hurt. Yeah, and we're angry. We're handling it the best way we know how. And right now, it's in God's hands. And I'm just glad and grateful that my sister is alive and that my niece is alive.
Meantime, Robert Fuller's family has released a statement saying at this time, until we receive all the information, the family and their legal team doesn't have any further comment on this incident. The family respectfully asks that their privacy be respected. John and Brandy, the unrest here in the Antelope Valley, it continues. Last night in Palmdale, there was a Black Lives Matter protest, and later this morning in Lancaster, activists will be gathering outside the office of Supervisor Catherine Barger to demand justice in the death of Robert Fuller and for the shooting death by an LA County Sheriff's deputy of another black man last week in Lancaster.
All right, so Jesus. All right. Lord have mercy. That fucking advertisement. I had to watch that like 5 times because whenever you see this like little track bar, I was trying to reset the video and I kept like clicking. I hate this website. Anyway, what the hell? Okay, so first of all, obviously, this goes without, any further ado. If the cops are behind you, what you do not want to do is to immediately start shooting at them. Now, there is not, to my understanding, there is not any video of this. There's video of the sound, but that's, I looked for some video, and that's the closest I could find. It's like a nearby apartment surveillance camera with fucking sound on it. So I mean, if you have any other details, let me know. This just happened, so updated 2 hours ago. So keep this in mind. So it's hard, given the idea that the cops will always lie, and this has been very routinely documented throughout the history of this country. It is extremely difficult to believe that they were following this guy and didn't know that he was the half-brother of someone who was lynched just like 2 weeks ago. It is extremely hard to believe, especially when the cops are the ones who immediately called it a suicide and tried to cover it up. Which leads me to believe that the cops in this instance, I think, they at least know who lynched Robert Fuller, or are the people themselves who did that. And when you combine that with the fact that just so happens that a week and so later, they're stalking this guy. Now again, if he has charges of assault or whatever and he's wanted for arrest or warrant or whatever, that's one thing. Another thing is like, why would you pull someone over in this context, like, it seems weird. There seems like there's a lot of missing links here. And again, the police are not to be trusted. They are not an authority on anything other than beating the shit out of you. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just another murder of a black man by cops. Now, if it is indeed true that he exited the vehicle and immediately started shooting at the police officers, that makes this a very tricky situation. I do think at that point, if that is true, I do think it is not necessarily the worst idea to fire back. Now, I don't like lethal firearms. If you had like rubber bullets in this incident, maybe that could have been useful, or tasers of some kind. But again, if he is indeed shooting live ammo at you, there isn't much you can do at that specific instance other than let them get away. So again, but I'm very skeptical of whether or not that's the case. I don't know. As far as I know, there's no video. And again, you cannot take cops at their word. They will always lie. They will always at least fabricate things slightly to make themselves seem like they're victims at all times. So you have to understand that. But this is something that, if there's any updates after this video is posted, please let me know. It's 11:30 as I'm recording this. I'll upload it in like an hour or so. If you do have any updates, please let me know. But as it stands, this is just a bizarre connection, and it's very, very difficult to believe that this is just a coincidence. Again, I find this absolutely bizarre that it's a coincidence, that people are trying to claim it's a coincidence. I can't. I just can't. I really just don't get how I just don't get it. I don't get it. And obviously there's a child in the car, which police, if you're going to try to arrest somebody, you should know who's in the vehicle. You should know, oh, hey, there's a kid in the car. Let's wait until they stop. Or, see if they're going to a store. Maybe just try to, why, there's so much here that is extremely suspect. And again, the official reporting without video is basically useless. That, there's really no, way that you can point this. There's really no, verdict here until we have more information. And, it just seems like such a bizarre coincidence. An absolutely, utterly bizarre coincidence. And I am absolutely struggling to believe that the cops are telling the truth here. Because, I've never seen the cops tell the truth in any other context. So why would this be the first time? Who knows? I don't know. It's hard to tell. But again, there's going to be probably more info coming at you. This is kind of like a little bit of a breaking news video because I just saw this and I was like, right? I don't know. Either way, if there are updates, post them in the comment section. I will try to make a follow-up if there's any new information, if another video surfaces. But again, if it is indeed true, my final synthesis here is, if it is indeed true that this man started firing at the police first, that's highly problematic. And I don't necessarily think that the cops using lethal force in response to that is a bad thing. There are lots of ways that people can lie about, oh, my life's in danger, my life's in danger. If someone is actively shooting at you, I do think that that is grounds to at least shoot back. Now, I do think that you should, of course, to take a page out of Joe Biden's playbook, shoot him in the leg and not the heart. But, if again, it's a very difficult situation. However, I'm very skeptical of why the police decided to do this at this time in this place. That's the thing. It's there's so much bizarre, dumb goofball decisions by the police here, even in the official reports that they're saying, that it's hard to sympathize with them or empathize with them in any fashion, given the fact that they put a 7-year-old girl through this situation. You should know who is in the car before you go into this situation. It's just it's stupid to not know who's in the vehicle. And so that's my opinion. The cops here were dumb. And I do think if it is the case that this guy got out of the car and started shooting first, if that is in fact the case, I think that's also very dumb. I don't think that he deserved to die, of course. But at that point, it does get very difficult to take him down without lethal force. That does become a very difficult thing, given the situation and the way that the cops are trained and the equipment that they have. And so, again, this is a bizarre story, and of course I would love to see more details, but this is all I got for now, so let me know if there's any updates.